Hello, good evening, everyone. So Mike Sutherland said he wanted to hear a story about Saki William Milani. Saki is such a beaut of a human being, and Mike Sutherland and I had the privilege of working with Saki at Quandre Private Game Reserve. So I'll tell you two stories tonight about Saki, and just a little word of warning: if there's little ears, there's might be a swear word in one of the stories. So Quandre is a magnificent game reserve, and with spectacular lodges, and just a great place to explore. So obviously there's the Big Five, which is always the main attraction, but there's a huge variety of smaller things that you get to see: aardvark, bat-eared foxes, aardwolf, small spotted cat, striped polecat, Cape fox I saw there with Saki, which is just radical. And Saki and I were driving. It was a private vehicle. There were only 4 guests on the car, and we were actually waiting for some cheetah to get up. We were hoping that they were going to hunt, and so we're sitting there and just busy chatting. And I like to chat about all sorts of things. So, and I found myself talking about top 10 movies, favorite foods, whatever, while we're waiting for these predators to get up. And Saki is quite a loud chap, and he was sitting next to me in the front of the car. And we're busy chatting, and he just says, "Yeah, bro, you won't believe what happened, bro." So I said, "Geez, like Saki, what happened?" Because now he's done this from being quiet, and I'm busy talking to the guests. I said, "What happened?" He said, "Bro, today when I was having my nap, bro, I was sleeping, and I was dreaming, bro, that something was touching me on the neck." And I said, "Flip, Saki, that's quite not normal. And what happened?" And the guests are now, they're invested in what Saki's talking about. And he says, "Yeah, I was lying, bro, and I could feel it on my neck, bro. And I thought it was the rope from the curtain, bro." And and he's speaking loud. And he says, "And then I woke up, and it was a boomslang, bro, on my neck." And a boomslang is a snake. And the guests were, "Oh my sack." They said, Saki, what did you do then with the snake on your neck?" And he says, "I grabbed it and I threw it and I shouted, 'Yara, yara, fuck, bro.'" No, I'm like, "Saki, bro, you can't swear in front of the guests." But obviously the guests were like, they were more like, "What the hell do you mean there was a snake on your bloody neck?" And Saki just carried on. He's like, "Yeah, that's what happens here in the bush, bro." He's such a flippin' legend, old Saki. Sorry about that swear word. It's very bad. I never use that word. One of the other stories with Saki, I'm actually kneeling down because I'm going to have to stand up to tell you the story. I hope there's enough space on this phone. So Angus, who runs Quandre, he's like the man. He's a real legend. He's a great guy. And he kind of started his career at Mala Mala Game Reserve. And one of the things he learned to do there was to imitate a leopard's rasping call, which is, I can't do it. But at Quandre, they had a leopard specialist safari, and Saki and I had done a number of these with Angus. And to watch him, one of the most epic things I've seen at Quandre was, we went out and we had telemetry to find, there were a couple of leopards that had collars. And the nature of the terrain, there's very steep valleys. So often you would know that there's a leopard down there, but because of the signal, but obviously you couldn't see Jack, Papa Nicolau. So we were sitting in the dark waiting, and Angus says, well, let me try something. And he does this call, much better than what I just did, but he does this call, and like a minute later, a leopard responds. We're like, no way has it worked. So that leopard responds, then another leopard calls behind us. So Angus does his call again. We had 3 leopards calling in the valleys that he initiated. So Saki and I thought, no, this is what we need to practice. Because can you imagine with guests, we could now try and call and see if a leopard would respond. So for weeks, we must have irritated every bloody staff member, guest, because we were just trying all the time. This, and like I say, Saki is such a loud guy. And one evening we'd got back to the lodge, and I had already gone up to put my rifle away. And Saki was always charming the ladies, you know, the female staff that worked at the lodge. So you could always hear him greeting them, hello, my darling. And, you know, he was just so loud. And I heard him leaving the kitchen to come up to where we would meet to get on the vehicles to go home. And I heard him coming up the path going, Jonathan Bozas, and just making a bloody racket. So I went and hid. So let me stand up. So I went and hid behind a bush that I knew he had to walk past. So Saki's coming going, Jonathan Bozas, and I just gave one growl, just went, and Saki from walking, he just went and stood dead to attention. But now I thought he had seen me, and so then I stepped out of the bush, and he just went, bro, you broke my heart, bro. You nearly killed me, bro. So there's 2 stories about old Sakakile William Malani. There's plenty more in the bank, but I think that'll 7.5 minutes. That's a lot for you guys to listen to, but I hope you enjoy it. Cheers.